The plot line is one that we know kind of instinctively. You know, it's in our genetic code, kind of the story of betrayal and kind of, emotional, psychological, out of control behavior that has consequences, which all of our actions and thoughts have consequences. But it was the textures of how these people behaved. It was what can happen to basically good, decent people who aren't as truthful and intimate with each other as they should be. And there's too many spaces for lies, too many possibilities of lies, or too many things that were unsaid, unspoken, uncommunicated. So it was a story of a couple who started off seemingly perfect, but we found out weren't really. And through hell, essentially, we find them at the end of the story much closer together, but having been damaged and bruised in the process. Without a bad decision, you don't have drama. And whether that's, I suppose that's in a way, whether it's an existential drama or it's I don't know what the other kind of drama would be. More of internalized drama. It's an act of God, of the universe itself made me do it. Which is, in a way, what happened here. It's not like the marriage was that dysfunctional that she was looking for something else. It just kind of happened. The wind was blowing, the guy was there, and it happened. But even at that point, you can start making choices, which she couldn't. You know, her personality, her character, whatever it was, she couldn't make a choice to fix what just kind of happened any more than he could. It just happened. And it was only in reflection that they saw, my God, what have I done? What have I done? Now, we all, on various levels, you know, we're not all killers, and we all don't have, you know, out-of-control affairs, but we certainly have those impulses in us. You know, we have hatred. We always go, I want to kill that guy. I want to kill her. Or, you know, I'd really like to be with, you know. So we all know what that feels like. So I think one of the important things of drama is to live that out for us. This is what happens. That's the Shakespearean side. Shakespeare took those emotions and he made huge dramas out of the smallest emotion, out of envy, out of jealousy, out of whatever it may be, pure ignorance, you know, anger. And he blew up a character that was really that, stood for that. And in a way, this movie plays with that kind of iconography of emotion. You have to have an emotional heartbeat, you know, that's really pushing. People are on the edge. Someone's doing something they shouldn't. You know, there's a danger, you know, which clearly we have in this movie. And that someone has a secret that no one else knows is another really, I think, important thing. Also, the sense that there's danger, violence lurking there based on that secret. Someone's going to get hurt. We were adding some sound in some scenes that helped. You know, there's a rhythmic energy to sound. Sound has its own way of telling a story. Montage has its own way of telling a story. The size of a shot has a way of telling a story, an emotion associated with it. But also the lack of sound. When sound cuts out and you have nothing. You felt it just then. Something else happens, and you go, and that's really important when you can play for the silence. This film has a kind of existential quality to it, which I'm sure was innate in the Chabrol film, the French film that it came from, although I think probably much more brutal and less naturalistic. In that version, but there is a kind of I hazard to say this, but a semi-Shakespearean size to this, in which we see recognizable people who really go into dark zones. The stuff that Diane does in this movie, I think, is extraordinary. The dark places she goes to, and my character as well. It's just this thing that was unthinkable. You know, 1 week before, or however long this is. These people never would have thought they would have gone to those places. It wasn't possible. It was unthinkable. We're all capable of everything. You know, as the horrible people that we have in our lifetime and in the present, to me, are not that different from us. You know, whether it's Saddam Hussein or it's anyone else. I don't want to name names now. It's not that different. You know, I've seen enough people in El Salvador who were simple peasants who became death squad members. We all can be turned very easily. You know, very few of us are so secure in who we are, in the best side of ourselves, that the dark side can't take over.